Hello everyone, my name is Sergio Llamas and today I'm going to be showing how to potentially save a life or save your own life after a critical incident or a unfortunate accident. So just by a show of hands, who here carries a medical kit, whether in their personal vehicle, leaves it in their desk at work, or has one at home? Okay, so this is one that I carry with me in my personal vehicle. Not expensive. Got it for $40. Put certain things in there. One of the most important things that I've put in there is this device that's known as a tourniquet. This is what's going to help you save a life or potentially save your own life. You know, and the truth of the matter is, the minute we step out of the comfort of our homes and we go out to the world, we're putting ourselves at risk, whether it be a traffic accident, whether it be a bicycling accident, work violence, school violence, whatever the case is. We're putting ourselves at risk. And if we're not prepared with the proper equipment, we could potentially fall victim or see fellow colleagues or friends become victims. So this device here, the tourniquet, it's made for your arms and your legs, right? We have several arteries in our body that pump out a lot of blood. And when those arteries are severed, you could bleed out within a matter of 2 to 5 minutes. Now, that's a rough estimate. If your adrenaline is pumping, depending on the situation, that blood is going to pump a lot faster and you could potentially go out before that time mark. So it's very important to understand how this tourniquet is going to save your life or potentially save your life, potentially save someone else's. So the tourniquet is it's a device that there's Velcro on it, this mesh material. It opens up like this, right? Has this windlass here. This is to tighten up the tourniquet itself, which I'll display right now. And this is the Velcro, you strap it over. There's a clamp in here. Once it's done tightening, you put it through here, tighten it, and then you wrap the Velcro over it. You would essentially put this strap over that Velcro, and there's a time mark. The time mark, if I'm applying this thing at 11 o'clock, I want to timestamp it, if I could, timestamp it with the time it was applied, right? I would put 11 o'clock here. Now this lets the paramedics or the hospital know that, hey, this tourniquet has been on for X amount of time, which is important, right? And it's important because you can't keep this thing on forever. After a certain amount of time, it's going to cause some damage, maybe to the entire arm, the entire leg. It just all depends on how bad the injury is. But for today, I'm going to keep it very basic and show everyone how to apply this tourniquet and the do's and don'ts of applying the tourniquet. So let's say I was out for a bike ride and a car happens to not see me, hits me. I happen to sever my brachial artery. So just for reference, brachial artery, radial artery, and in your legs, you have a femoral artery that runs down. So if I'm hitting the arm, when I go out, whether it's for a walk or a bike ride or a run, I try to carry medical supplies with me. So if I'm out for my bike ride, I'm hit and I'm on the ground and I realize that blood's just coming out profusely. I'm gonna take this tourniquet. I'm gonna do high and tight, not at the shoulder level, because if I'm here, it's essentially like a backpack. You don't want to backpack this. I'm gonna come high and tight just before the shoulder, and I'm gonna pull this as tight as I can, and I'm gonna wrap it here, right? This is all Velcro, so I'm gonna wrap it here. I'm going to turn the windlass as tight as possible. Could go tighter, demonstration purposes. I'm not gonna let my arm fall off. So it's tight. I'm gonna wrap this again through here. Come over here, strap it over, and I mean, potentially have someone timestamp it, or mentally in my mind timestamp it. Now, you want to do it really tight. Right now, I only turn the windlass like once, but I can already feel my arm going numb, right? And that's telling me that my brachial artery is essentially being pinched. So in the example of my accident, if I'm bleeding profusely, well, now I just stop the bleeding, right? I bought myself some time to get transported, maybe get into a vehicle and get myself to the nearest trauma center. So that's the way you would do it on your arm. To take this thing off. And again, it's only been on a little bit and my arm's already fairly numb. For the leg, same thing, both left and right leg. I'm gonna take this tourniquet, unwrap it completely, or you could leave it pre-wrapped in a circle. I find from my experience, you leave it open like this, there's gonna get a chance, it's gonna get caught in the shoe. I prefer to just open it all the way, come at the leg, bring it here, throw it through its loop, and tighten it. Same thing, I'm gonna turn the windlass as tight as I possibly can. Now this is painful. It's not fun at all. And I mean, I'm only going probably about 2 turns. That's not the way you want to do it. You want to turn this windlass as tight as possible to the point where you can't turn it anymore. I did this once in a training and we tied it, made it as tight as possible, and arms are turning purple because you're stopping the blood flow, right, of the brachial or the femoral. And that's the goal of this, to stop the bleeding with the tourniquet. So you want to do it as tight as possible and as high as possible. Now, there is some training schools that will tell you to go 2 to 3 inches above the injury. Hey, you know what? That's fine too. But for the purposes of this video or the purposes of this demonstration, in a critical incident, and from my experience, in a critical incident, in a stressful situation, you won't be able to determine whether it's 2 or 3 inches, right? So that's why I tell everyone, high and tight, yank on the tail end of this. There's a red indicator here, tab. You pull as hard as you can and start spinning the windlass. And you spin it counterclockwise to the point where it makes the entire tourniquet tight. And that should buy you some time and help the victim or yourself get ready for transport. So that's my demonstration of the tourniquet. Hope this was informative, and thank you all.